Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you're all doing very, very well. Welcome back to another live show. Listen, lots and lots to talk about today. Lots of exciting news about the questions that people actually care about. How many times have I done a show and we've spoken about, I don't know, maybe it's a transfer or an injury or just an update, some sort of update, and I get the same question. I get the same question again and again and again. Alex, do you have any updates for us on the front of shirt sponsorship? Have you heard anything? Does it look like we're even interested in getting something done this year? I thought this was going to be the year that Chelsea would get something done in this department. Do we not care about money? Like, I thought our ownership were obsessed with money. But yeah, hang on a second. You're going to get a free 50 million a year minimum, around 60 if you get a good price, just for having a sponsor on the front of your shirt. And you're telling me that we still haven't got it done. How does that make sense? And why is there no updates? But the good news is today we have an update. We don't have anything concrete. I don't think we've signed anything, but we have an update. So that is more than I've ever been able to give you before. And that's a positive. So let's try and take it as a positive rather than, looking at it and being confused as to why we haven't got something done already, or why we didn't sign an agreement, a deal in the summer, or why, as Daniel said, we've not had a sponsor for almost 3 years. That is a question that we will have to find out the answer to later down the line. I'm sure there is an answer, but yeah, it's not a great look. 1 year was like fair enough. It was quite fun, almost having a shirt with no sponsor. It's quite sexy, really. No other team has it. But there comes a point where you miss one season, you miss 2 seasons. How many seasons are we going to go without having a sponsor? Like, how's that going to work? So this is what we're going to go into, guys. Big up to everyone that's watching. I hope you're doing very well. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video. We've got about 150 of you in total as it stands. So let's get up to at least 70 likes on YouTube. Let's get up to 70 likes on X as well. Get some retweets in. It all helps. And big up to all of you. Big up to Liam. Big up to Daniel. Good to see Amir in the building as well. Alfie, waiting to buy the 3rd kit, but the front of shirt sponsor is taking a long time. Yes. Well, again, we're going to dive into it. So, yeah, we're going to be speaking about the front of shirt sponsor. We'll be speaking about Delap and Essugo. We've got some injury updates for you there. And we're going to be talking about Chelsea's academy as well, because there is some positive news regarding our academy. So without further ado, let's dive straight into it. And I do want to just say this news is coming from a source that I don't really know that well. And I don't expect any of you to know this source. But it's apparently someone that seems to know what they're talking about with regards to front of shirt sponsorship. So let's hope that this information is accurate. It's Lucas Baszek. Now I don't know where he's from, but he sounds like he's Polish or something like that. And if you want to see his profile, this is the man that is coming out with the information. And it's top 50 sports business Twitter accounts, MSc Economics and Management, Sports Biz, Football Finance. This is the key one, football finance. So let's hope that, we've got something to go through here. And this is it. So, Hair Group is considering signing a sponsorship deal with Chelsea. If an agreement is reached, the Chinese home appliance giant's logo will appear on the sleeves of the men and women's first team shirts. The club is looking for a new partner to replace Live Nation. So actually, I think I got my title a little bit wrong. So sorry if I wrote front of shirt sponsor. It's actually the shirt sleeve. And this is to replace Live Nation. So still a sponsorship update. Oh, fair enough. I thought it was going to be front of shirt sponsor. So who are the hair group? Like, who are they? That's what I want to know. They're a Chinese company and they make home appliances. Is that right? Let's find out some more information on this. I know that was quite disappointing, to be honest with you. I would honestly, it wasn't clickbait. I genuinely thought it was going to be I thought it was going to be a front shirt, but I'm a bit disappointed myself now, to be honest with you. Hey, listen, there's still money in the bank, whatever you want to call it. It's still a deal. All right, let's go into a little bit more detail. I am doing some research as well simultaneous on who Hair Group are. Last week, Hair signed global sponsorship deals with Liverpool and PSG as part of its international expansion through football sponsorship. The goal is to strengthen the brand's presence in key regions and increase its value in the long term. And the caption is "Play with the number ones." Well, last time I checked, Chelsea were number 4, but we'll take it. Club World Cup, I guess that gives you the right, doesn't it? So we will take that all day. We will take that. Through these partnerships, Hair competes with established competitors such as Samsung, a former long-term front of shirt sponsor of Chelsea, LG, and Hisense, which also invest in sports sponsorships. Founded in 1984, Hair is ranked number 1 globally in major home appliance retail sales, and for 16 consecutive years, serving over 1 billion households in 200 markets. Okay, so they're obviously a very big company. Last year, Chelsea held talks with China's Sherry International, but ultimately no agreement was reached regarding branding on the sleeves of the shirts. The club maintains very strong ties with its Chinese fans, and their Club World Cup victory was celebrated with a show at the Chongqing World Financial Center. I would love to show you this video, guys, but I think I'll be done for the C word, if you know what I mean. So I can't show you that. So that is what we have on this particular thread. I'm still trying to find out a little bit more about who the Hair Group are. I mean, we are looking for an awful lot of money here, guys. A ridiculous amount of money. And that's why we've had so many negotiations that haven't gone very well. Again, you look at this. We held talks with Sherry International. Like, how many people have we held talks with? We've held talks with a lot of people, and they haven't gotten us anywhere except for Delap. But that doesn't mean much if we can't get something done sooner rather than later. It's great getting the right price, but if you get the right price after 4 years, then you might as well have just taken a hit, and then you would have never been in a position to lose out on 4 years of revenue. Again, this isn't really our concern because we're more concerned about front of shirt sponsor than a sleeve sponsor, but it all counts. It all helps, right? I don't know what the average price is for a sleeve sponsorship at Chelsea. I'm not aware of it. Okay, so if you know something that I don't, let me know. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm looking at Chelsea right now, and I just think that we're penny pinching. Like, we are literally fighting for every penny, which you should. Don't get me wrong. I've got nothing against that. But at the same time, can we just get some deals on the board? Like, I've had this conversation with a lot of people. Like, a deal is better than no deal. And that depends on the amount of deals you're getting, right? If you're waiting years and years and then you're getting a £200 million deal with a front of shirt sponsor, it's very different to waiting 2 years and only gaining 10 million a season anyway, because you might as well accept 40-50 million, take a 10 million pound cut, even though you think, oh, we've made an extra 10 million. You've missed out on 40-50 million of revenue. So I don't know, this is not what I wanted to see. I was actually quite hyped for this one. This is disappointing, but it's still an update nonetheless. It's still an update. And for fuck's sake, he did say sleeve sponsor. He did say it. Anything else? Okay. We have got another update. We announced a new long-term relationship with ABM, a leading provider of facility engineering infrastructure solutions. The deal sees ABM delivering best-in-class cleaning services at Stamford Bridge and Kingsmeadow stadiums, along with the club's Cobham training ground. Well, listen, if you go to Stamford Bridge and those toilets are not spick and span, you need to complain about ABM. Clean those toilets. They are disgusting. And that's pretty much it from Lucas. Well, it's all good info, isn't it? But pretty underwhelming, to be honest. I was a bit like you, hoping that it was going to be front of shirt. So apologies for that, but an update nonetheless. Right, let's go through a few of your comments, and then we've got plenty more news to go through. Good to see you, Tom. I hope you're doing well. We have got lots of injuries, so we're going to be addressing them. Please let the sponsor be a good image. Again, we'll have to just wait and see. Daniel, loving the no sponsorship. It looks good, mate. It looks good, but it's the money side of things, isn't it? That's what people are thinking about. Why are we making life harder for ourselves financially? Let's just look at some of the sales that we've done. We could have kept Tyreek George. We could have kept Vega, for example, and that would have been subsidized by having a front of shirt sponsor, and then you would have made the same amount of money. You would have actually made more money because it would have been you wouldn't have had 100% profit on Vega. So it just makes your life easier. Why make it harder? Any more updates on Cole Palmer's injury? We'll look into it, Daniel. Big up, Harry. Hope you're doing well. Yes, his name did sound Polish. Good to see you, Piggy. All good, mate. All good. Good to see you in the building. Alex is going to a pub in Kew Bridge on Saturday with Joseph in Kensington. It's called 1 over the 8. Fair enough. I don't think I've been there before. Amir's not very happy. Shirt sleeve sponsor. It wasn't intentional. That's all I can say. It wasn't intentional. I genuinely thought it was going to be a front of shirt sponsor. I should have read it more carefully. Do I think the club are asking for too much? Yes, I do. Especially if we're not getting the deals done. Then you need to be flexible, right? You need to have some flexibility. Hair is a huge market in China, India, and the rest of Southeast Asia, says Soham. It's not hair, it's higher. Okay. I will make sure for that. I'll keep that in mind. Sounds like CFC are looking for 100 million a year or so, because it's incomprehensible that a club of this magnitude can go 3 years without a front of shirt sponsor. Greedy. Got to agree with you on that one, mate. I suppose the good news is if we get a good deal, then you give it credit. But all the time we've missed, that's money we're losing. What's the current situation with the whole Jackson saga? We will talk about that. Don't you worry. Football will be back soon. Yes, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be releasing a video soon after this live talking about all of Chelsea's incomings and what I give them out of 10. There will be a few surprises. There is maybe one rating I would change looking back. But hey, the video has been recorded now. So stay tuned for that video after. We're going to be talking about all the incomings. And then tomorrow, I will do a video on all of the sales, and we'll rate our sales. Big up, Stephen. Listen, mate, I am going to get it sorted out. I will. I actually have someone that's going to help me, or they said they would. So we will have a background. We need a front of shirt sponsor. The UEFA problems would be easier to deal with as well. I haven't bought the kit yet as I'm waiting for the sponsor. Well, listen, guys, if you do want to buy any of the latest Chelsea gear, I never talk about it, but I probably should because everyone else does. We actually do have an affiliate link. So if you go on the lives, I'll share my screen with you quickly. If you go on YouTube and you just go below, you will see that there is a link over here. And if you want to grab all the latest Chelsea merchandise, just click that link, okay, and it will take you straight to Chelsea's sort of mega store. And yeah, it all helps. It all helps. So I should really promote that more, but there you go. So yeah, if you want to get anything to do with Chelsea in the mega store, just go on the channel, click the link, and sort yourself out. All right. So big up to all of you. Hope that helps. Chance we see Lavia in the next game. We'll see, mate. We'll see. I'm waiting to hear what Maresca has to say, to be honest with you, before I make any calls on that. Watching from South Sudan. Big up to you, Abraham. Clown Lake needs all the money they can get to wipe out the outstanding debts. Listen, we need every penny, but that's why this is even more confusing, because it's just free money that we're turning down. Hire is a home appliances company. Hire UK is one of the largest in the UK in their industry, so they have a UK branch as well. That makes sense. Okay. Let's move on from that. Okay, let's move on. So, lots of players training today. We saw Chalobah in training, Buonanotte, Badiashile back in training, Wesley Fofana, Robert Sanchez, Hato, Enzo, Garnacho, Lavia in training as well. So hopefully he can be back sooner rather than later. And we had an update from Dario Essugo. And then we had a message from, who was the message from? Romeo Lavia for Dario Essugo, who is currently in hospital. Well, he's had surgery, so he's recovering from that surgery. He won't be back for a couple of weeks. Now, it's not the worst injury in the world, but he got injured on international duty with Portugal. And that is a real kick in the teeth, because, again, you've got Caicedo struggling in recent times. He was rested in a game against Ecuador. I don't know if he played their most recent one, but he had sort of aches and pains. You've got Lavia, who, as we know, we can't replace. Well, he can't cover anyone. That's really the problem with Lavia. He can't cover anyone. You can't rely on Lavia to cover anyone because he's not fit himself. It's like saying that Fofana would cover Tosin if he was injured. It's like, well, why are we even having this conversation? By the time Tosin gets injured, Fofana will be injured anyway. So this is one of the issues that we're going to have. Oh, shit. You got a red card yesterday. I didn't know that. So when I look at the signing of Essugo, like I do think it's a great signing. Again, you'll see this in the video that's going to be released later on. But it is so annoying to just see players coming in this team. You hope they have a great future ahead of them, but you still need to see something at the present moment. And then this happens. And this is one of the problems with having these crazy schedules. And what FIFA did make one good decision recently. They did make one good decision, which I'm very happy about. They've cut the international breaks. They've cut them. Now, what do I mean by that? I'm going to find that out for a second. I'll double check. I just want to make sure I got accurate information. But basically, what we've had before, we just had an international break. We're going to have another one in like October, November time. We'll probably have another one in March-ish, something like that. Like, we've got too many international breaks, and it kills all the momentum that we build up. Now, don't get me wrong. There's times where you have an international break that's coming up, and you're probably begging for it. In all honesty, I remember when we had the World Cup that was coming up, and Graham Potter was our manager, and we got absolutely dismantled against Newcastle. Do you remember that game? I think we lost. I can't remember the score. 2-0, something like that. That was when Graham Potter was our manager. We lost in the Premier League to Newcastle, and then the World Cup happened, basically. And we were having such a difficult time watching our team that we were quite happy that we had this break. But to have these breaks so often, it doesn't make any sense to me. Do you split the World Cup into 4 quarters? Do you split the Euros up into 4 quarters? No. You just run it as a tournament, and then you finish it. You take a month or whatever it is, and it's done. You don't have to worry about it again. So why do we do the same thing with the Nations League? Why do we do similar things with qualifiers? Now, qualifiers are a bit different. I appreciate that. But the Nations League, for example, is a competition that doesn't even need to be there. If anything, you should just bin it off. Get rid of the Nations League. Scrap it. It's pointless. It's distracting. It's an injury threat. It's a risk. It's not a priority, and nobody cares about it. Do you think when Ronaldo's showing off all of his trophies that he won when he was a player, do you think that the Nations League is going to be one of the main assets that he shows? Is that going to be in front of a Champions League or a? I presume he must have won Club World Cups. You know, is it going to be ahead of the Euros? Is it going to be ahead of the Premier League? No, it's literally at the bottom of the pile. A Carabao Cup is worth more than a Nations League. In many respects, at least that competition has history. The Nations League is brand new. It's a forced competition. I know it was introduced to eliminate meaningless friendly. I know that. I mean, I went to the first Nations League matches that England played. I was there in Portugal in 2018, I think it was. And England ended up losing to the Netherlands. We had a goal disallowed. I think Jesse Lingard scored. And the Netherlands beat us in the end. Very, very disappointing result, but incredible atmosphere. Actually, one of the best atmospheres I've ever been a part of. Watching England is so much better when it's competitive and away from home. When it's in another country, it's different gravy, guys. I promise you that. If you want to watch England and you expect a good atmosphere at Wembley, don't kid yourself. But yeah, the Nations League is not a competition that should be there. What's the? You might as well eliminate the meaningless friendlies then, Teddy. I mean, that's the reality, because we have so many games that those friendlies used to fill in a period of time where we wouldn't have been playing football anyway. And now we are playing football all the time. There's no breaks for these players. So that's my stance on it. Get rid of it. So yes, basically starting in the 26-27 season, FIFA is merging the September and October windows into one that's longer, a 16-day window in which national teams can play up to 4 matches. So the November and March windows remain as a 2-match 9-day windows. So fucking joke. So Yeah. So within a typical European club season, which is August till May, the in-season international breaks go from 4, which is September, October, November, and March, to 3, which will be September and October combined, and then you'll have November and March. So you'll go from having a 9-day break to a 16-day break for internationals, but then you'll have your regular 9 for November and March, which, by the way, is a good decision. That's one of the, actually, I think FIFA have made some good decisions recently in the Club World Cup. I think the Club World Cup's a good tournament. I don't have an issue with playing more games, but they have to make sense. They have to be beneficial to football. Yeah, and as a fan, like, are you interested? I think the Club World Cup was a good competition. Chelsea benefited a lot from it. So, I don't have an issue with the Club World Cup, especially if it's every 4 years. The problem with the Club World Cup will really rise if they make it every 2 years. The Club World Cup has history. We played in the Club World Cup before. We won the Club World Cup with Tuchel. Of course, it has history. It has more history than the Nations League. That's not a good comment to make at all. The Club World Cup at least has some history. We've changed the way that competition has been played, and rather than playing it every year, making it meaningless, we've actually given it some hype. I'm all for that. I'm all for it. Think of it like this, all right? You've got a friend, you've got someone in your life, whoever it is. You speak to them every day. You speak to them for, let's just say you speak to them for half an hour every day, 30 minutes every day. Change that. Instead of speaking to them for half an hour every day, speak to them for 2 hours once a week. Which conversation is going to be more interesting? Or better still, hang out with them once a month. You got a lot more going on, a lot more to talk about. It's more interesting. What the hell do I need to speak to you about when I just spoke to you yesterday? Nothing's changed. Life goes on. And this is the thing with these competitions as well, that the more you play, the less significance they have. This is the reality of where football is going. Every competition wants to be this massive, big event. But people are drained by what they're already seeing. They're drained by all these domestic matches. Champions League's been extended. By the way, another good decision, in my opinion, because it keeps it competitive. And I actually think the format is good. I think it's a good format. But then you have to sacrifice other things. We've seen the Carabao Cup. They've taken away extra time. Good decision. Now FIFA have reduced they've merged the breaks, which again is another good decision. These are things that you can work around. 16 days of international games sounds crappy, but at least you can build up some momentum. That's the reality. I want to see momentum, and I don't want it to be stop, start. Nothing worse than getting into the groove of watching your team, and then you gotta wait. It's just ridiculous. I don't like it. Anyway, let's continue because there is plenty on. So listen, wishing Dario Essugo a speedy recovery. He did come out with a comment saying, unfortunately, during this international break with the national team, I felt something in my thigh that required surgery and will keep me out for a while. It's frustrating to start the season like this, especially after already facing another setback not long ago. But I truly believe everything happens for a reason. God has a bigger plan. I will be back stronger. So big up to Dario Essugo. I'm not actually sure exactly what his recovery time is. He made it seem like it's longer than even I thought. So hoping that's not the case. But we'll have to, we'll have to see what happens there. We've had an update on Liam Delap as well from The Athletic, David Ornstein and Simon Johnson's Sport. Liam Delap is expected to begin training again in November, with his anticipated return to play coming shortly after, ahead of the busy festive fixture schedule. So hopefully around sort of November, December time, that is when Delap will be ready. You're absolutely, no, you're right. Europa League teams did suffer. I agree with that. But Champions League is the best competition, mate. That's the way I see it. And why should you be rewarded for being knocked out of a competition by being put into another one? Once you're out, you're out. So again, I don't have anything against it. It's all to play for. We have gone through the front of shirts. Well, it's not a front of shirt sponsor, Steve. I'm afraid it's a shirt sleeve. But just rewind the video and then you'll see everything else. So yeah, it's going to be a little while until we see Delap back in action. This is obviously where Mark Guiu will have a part to play. I'm absolutely sure of that. Whatever you think of Mark Guiu, I think it would be interesting to see, where this can all go, and if he can break through and actually show that, even though he's probably still going to be a squad player, can he be a squad player that actually has a part to play, or is he just that option that you're playing when, you've got a meaningless game, or you're playing when you have to rest other players? Is there a world where Mark Guiu can break into the squad and actually make something of it, actually take that role? So that is something that we'll have to see. But yeah, not particularly great to see Delap in that state as it stands. Esteban Willian had a number of things to say about Chelsea and about adjusting to life in England. When asked about adjusting to life, he said, "I thought it would take a little bit longer to adapt because of the climate and the language, but thank God it's happening very quickly. And I'm already getting used to the language as well." So that's a very positive thing. I will say this, though. It's not going to be sunny for long, Esteban. I mean, if I look outside my window now, if I look at the forecast, what does the forecast say where I am? It's not been great. 50% chance of rain until 9 p.m. So welcome to England. So you'll experience it soon. Don't worry. The climate there has helped me a lot during the 3 weeks I've been there, because it's not cold, it's hot, it's getting dark by 9 o'clock at night. So I think that was really crucial for me for my adaptation. It's been really, really good. I'm loving it. Well, as far as I'm concerned, you need to buy some jackets, my friend. You need to buy some raincoats. When he was asked whether he expected fans to be chanting his name so early, he said, "No. I only heard Esteval, the little song, but the affection I see the fans have for me and the coaching staff, everyone at Chelsea, is incredible. Since I arrived, I've felt at home. It's been incredible. I'm loving Chelsea. I'm loving London. I don't think it could be better. Wow. I think this is the happiest moment of my life." He said, "I'm already having a lot more opportunities than I expected at Chelsea, and that's because of the work I've done in training. Maresca trusts me a lot, and I try to repay that on pitch." And I will say this, guys, probably wouldn't have had as many minutes if we hadn't have had the Palmer injury, for example. I think if Gittins had hit the ground running and been slightly more effective, you probably would have seen him playing more minutes in other games. And that's another factor as to why Esteval can start, because you move Neto onto the other side. But yeah, I'm very happy for him. And I will say this, guys. When we look at a player like Esteval, in terms of impact, quality, ability at such a young age, I don't think that we've had that since Palmer. I say that like it's been a really, really long time. It hasn't. But that is the kind of impact that I think we will get from Esteval. And I don't necessarily think you get that this season, but I think he can grow into a player that can certainly match what Palmer's done, and that quality. And I think Maresca's been very clear on the fact that he doesn't want that GA from one player, but he wants it spread out. So then if you're losing 15 goals or 15 GA from Parma, like we did, where are you going to get those? Where are you going to get the other goals from? And I look at Esteval. He's going to get 15 GA. I'm pretty confident about that. I would like to see Neto getting in and around that, at least 10 goals this season. He's certainly going to get assists as well. I think there's a good argument for that. João Pedro already on track. By this rate, will be getting over 20 goals. And this is a good place to be. It's a healthy place to be. So as much as people don't like everything we've done, I just ask you this in the chat. You say yes or no to any of these players. Do you think that Pedro Neto will get more than 10 GA? Do you think that Esteval, the same thing? Do you see that with João Pedro? Do you see that with Delap? Do you see that with Palmer? That's 50 goals, right? That's 50 goals there. And then you want to have a couple of contributions from other players. You got Enzo. I'd like to see Gittins try and get 10 GA, although I'm not 100% sure if we will. But I'd like to see that. Garnacho will get close. I've just given you 80 goals there. 70, 80 goals. All right. All round the pitch. And then you're looking for that star man to push you that extra way. Or if you're even lucky, you get 2-star players who are going to push you forward. But yes, I do think Neto will be absolutely key for us. I think Garnacho will have a good place in this squad as well. Teddy, I agree with that. So there you go. Updates on Disassi. We've had some updates from Disassi. This is according to the BBC. Disassi will be available for Chelsea if called upon. Okay, so he will be a potential option for us. He's expected to be ready to. So he's expected to train separately from the core first team group, at least initially, but is ready to be called upon by Chelsea. The 27-year-old joined in a £38.5 million move from Monaco in 2023, but the Blues tried to sell him or send him out on loan this summer. However, despite Premier League interest from the likes of Bournemouth and West Ham, the defender has ended up stranded in Chelsea's remaining so-called bomb squad. There are question marks as to what happens next. Disassi, a France international, plans to stay professional and committed and is willing to play for the club again if asked. He remains available and hopes to prove himself, albeit most likely from a separate building for now, but with a view to impress and get back into Enzo Maresca's thinking. And the question is, will he get back into Maresca's plans? My answer is no. And that's not personal, but you're just not good enough. You don't suit our style of football. And I think it's quite arrogant how he turned down Wolves, Bournemouth, West Ham, as if he's going to be playing for a Champions League club again, at least in English football. Absolutely not. So, yeah, we will most likely see another loan for him in January. That's what I hope, at least. And we've got to recoup some money for him somehow. We've got to recoup something. And if that means you're going to loan him for another 3 years, so be it. If you don't want to accept these moves, people say the same thing about Sterling. Do you feel sorry for Sterling? I'm sorry? What? Sorry for who? You're making millions of pounds a year. Tens of millions. You rejected opportunities. And you want to sit here and act like a victim. I'm not saying Disassi is, but I'm just saying to those people that almost feel sorry for these guys. They have been given an opportunity to leave. This is not Manchester United where your wages are so high that we can't get rid of you. Sterling's the only sort of player that you put in that bracket. This is a very easy, quick fix if players want to work with other clubs and make it happen. So Disassi is a victim of being very stubborn. I'm afraid he's a very stubborn player. Doesn't want to go. Fine, you're not going to play for us. You're not going to play unless it's against some team that we don't want. Yeah, it's just not for me, guys. It's not for me. How many goals did Chelsea score last season? That's what I need to find out. Okay. I don't think that it's a great comparison, Mudryk and Gittins. I really don't know what to think. Mark Guiu gets game time with surprise. If you look, I like Mark Guiu. Just he needs to finish. He needs to finish his chances, and then that will shut everyone up. If he finishes his chances, then we won't really have to have a conversation. That's the only doubt. That's really the main doubt. Batty Shill's back in training as well, guys. So we could have another centre-back option potentially for Brentford. That's positive. Obviously, Wesley Fofana has been training as well. In terms of Chelsea, I'm trying to see if there's anything else. We had an article coming out from The Athletic talking about our window and whether it was a success or failure. I don't want to read stuff if it's not relevant. The centre-back issue has come up. It's an area to keep an eye on if we struggle without Levi Colwill. And in saying that, Chelsea will be reluctant to block the pathways of Mamadou Sarr and Aaron Anselmino. It is more likely one of them will be recalled rather than a new addition to be added. And to be honest with you, like if they're going to get game time and play, I haven't got a big problem with it. But I do think for the sake of both of those players, I always like loans to be in full. You never want to do half a job, do you? You want to complete the full term, and then you can go from there, and you can see how things develop. But again, it's just something that kills momentum, and I think that there's certain examples where you are desperate. Chalobah is a key example of that. I mean, that's slightly unique in the sense that we treated him so badly. You were almost surprised that he was willing to come back and be professional, which obviously wouldn't be the case with Sarr and Anselmino. We haven't had them for long enough to be able to treat them in that type of way. But Anselmino seems to be doing really well in Germany. I heard that his debut was fantastic for Dortmund. I think he's done a great job so far. And the manager seems to really like him. Mamadou Sarr, again, don't really know how he's done at Strasbourg as it stands. I will be doing a watch-along for Strasbourg this weekend. So if you are around, I will be trying to do more watch-alongs, guys, especially on Strasbourg and Chelsea women, because ultimately it's going to be very difficult for me to do watch-alongs for the men's games because I'm there. But for the women and Strasbourg, I will try and do more of those shows just because I think, why not? Let's watch it together and actually learn something. Okay, so Chelsea scored 64 goals in the Premier League last season. 64 goals. And if you've got 5 players that are contributing well, that's around sort of 12, 13 GA each. So if you can just add a couple of goals to that, let's just say we've got 5 players that can give us 16 GA. I mean, I'm not asking for the world here, am I? Am I asking for the world? I don't know. That would give you 80 goals. So all you need is Palmer to maintain his form from last season, João Pedro to continue doing what he's doing. You need Pedro Neto to level up, which he has so far, and you would hopefully want that trend to continue. Garnacho to, get you at least sort of 10, 12 GA. It's realistic. It can happen. Esteval just scored his first goal for Brazil. We're waiting for him to do, to contribute more for us. There's no reason why that can't happen. So hopefully we don't have to speak about Anselmino and Sarr coming back, because if that is the case, then it means we've made, we're in a bit of trouble. I don't want that. I don't want to have that conversation. That's not a conversation that I really want to get into. Let's use what we have and let's focus on that. We've got to give a little bit of credit to some legends of the club. All right. And they've been nominated for some very good awards. Eden Hazard and Cesc Fabregas are the latest Chelsea legends to be nominated for inclusion in the Premier League Hall of Fame in 2025. Listen, it's absolutely deserved. I'll put I'll put this question to you as well. Like, I know we're very happy with Enzo Fernandez, but would you take Fabregas over Enzo Fernandez? Would you take him in your team? How would you feel about that? Because I do think about that comparison quite a lot. I'm like, would I rather have Fabregas or Fernandez? Similar profile. I think that I'd take Fabregas, to be honest with you, over Fernandez, and Hazard over basically anyone. Thoroughly deserved, hugely successful at the club, and I think they deserve that credit. But yeah, when I say Fabregas over Fernandez, I'm certainly not shitting on Fernandez. I mean, it's a tough comparison. But I just loved Fabregas. I just thought it was so natural. One thing that I will say about Fabregas, if I was to compare him, is I don't remember him giving the ball away as much as Fernandez does. I do think that that's one area Fernandez needs to improve on. And I know that you're going to give the ball away when you try and create. That's not the issue. It's when you're not trying to look for a creative pass and you still give the ball away. That's my frustration in those sort of tight angles. Reece James has been doing very, very well for England on international break. Here is a couple of the numbers. There is a bit of a debate going on around Reece James, and the way he's being played for England, and I'll explain why in a second. 137 minutes played, 1 assist, 6 out of 9 balls made, 6 out of 10 duels won, 4 tackles, dribbled past 0 times. Now, let's not get too carried away with that stat, but look at it like this. You have a player who is, without doubt, when he's fully fit, the best right back in the world. All right, nobody can doubt that. When he is physically 100%, absolutely sensational. Okay. But the problem that some people seem to be having, I think, is a good debate. It's a debate that we can definitely have. Is this going to be a problem for Chelsea? The fact that Reece James is playing for England as much as he is, and playing in a way that we refuse to play him most of the time. I mean, we did see it in pre-season, Reece James overlapping against AC Milan. We did see that. But is that something that we should be a little bit worried about, seeing him overlapping constantly, going up and down on that right-hand side for Tuchel? And that risk of injury just went from, the low percentage, and it's gone right up, because now he's not in a static position. He's not being asked to invert. He's been asked to cover more ground. It's a more intense position. It's a more demanding position physically. Is that a concern? And I would say the answer to that is yes. I think we should be concerned by that. But I'd also say, if I was Tuchel, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? I'm the England manager, and I want to get results for England. And if you're telling me I have to invert Reece James because of a risk of him getting injured, which may not happen, and that could cost me a game of football, of course I'm not going to change. Why would he? So I understand Tuchel's thought process fully. Reece James played his best football of his career under Thomas Tuchel. Why should that match, which is a match made in heaven in terms of football, why should that change? So I think we're going to continue to see Reece James playing regularly under Tuchel in that position. And I think Chelsea just going to have to try and manage it. And if that means that he needs to be rested against Brentford, so be it. For the benefit of the player, you do that. As a football club, we are only in control of what we can do on our side. We can't control what England can do. And we can't control if Reece James is happy to go out and play that football. We need to manage him. So if that means you start Malo Gusto, so be it. And by the way, I would always start Malo Gusto ahead of Reece James for Chelsea overlapping at this point, bearing in mind what we know about James now physically. Like, it just makes sense. Gusto's not going to get injured and James will. Or the risk is 3-4 times higher. But it's not criminal picking Gusto ahead of Reece James if you want to overlap. It is criminal if you want him to invert. And that's the problem. That's the problem we had last season. The problem we had last season is we were starting Gusto and we weren't playing his abilities. We weren't allowing him to thrive because we weren't letting him go up the pitch. And you saw what happened in the Club World Cup final. Surprise, surprise. You got Gusto in. You had James in the midfield, which I also thought was a pretty strange decision before the game, but during the game, it turned out to be genius. That is what I want to see. I want to see Gusto overlapping, and if we're not overlapping, I want to see James. It's black and white for me. It's black and white. I don't mind Reece James overlapping off the bench, but not for a full 90 minutes. I just think those days are gone for Chelsea. The thing that does give me a little bit of comfort if James is doing that for England is he's not exactly playing against the best in the world. You know, he was playing against Andorra, and I can't even remember who we played against the other day. Who was it? Can't remember. Let me know who England were playing recently. We won like comfortably. I didn't watch the game. I will also just quickly touch on this news, which maybe we can spend a little bit more time on at some point. I think this is a show in itself, really. BlueCo is one of the interested parties in Santos Football Club. In July, there was a meeting between the members of the group, such as Begdad Egbali and the president of Santos. At the moment, it's just conversations. This is according to Lucas Massetti and Data Football. What is your thoughts on this one, guys? I mean, where do you stand on the multi-club model? I think we can all agree Strasbourg has worked really well and has been a success. But, you know, is this something you'd be open to seeing in another continent? Because that opens up a totally new market that we don't have. And to be honest with you, I'm all for it if we can get it done. Big shout out to everyone that's on the stream as well. Big up to all of you. We've got over 600 of you in total. We should be on at least 100 likes on YouTube, okay? If you're on YouTube, we've got just under 150 of you. Smash those like buttons. Let's get up to at least 100, guys, before we wrap it up. Takes a minute. Makes a big difference. It just shows that you're enjoying the content, and I appreciate you watching nonetheless. But yeah, I did look into this. You know what was happening with Santos, and I was trying to understand it the other day. I was like, where is this coming from? Like, why is Santos even interested in being in this position? So I looked into it a little bit, and Santos have formally started the process to become an SAF, which means Sociedad Anónima de Football. And they've hired XP Investimentos to value the club and run an investor process. A confidential council session to tweak the club status for an SAF vote is scheduled for Tuesday, the 9th of September, which obviously happened yesterday. And XP's indicative valuation is going to come up as well. So we'll find that out. No official bids, though interest has obviously been signaled by groups. We are one of them. There's groups from Qatar and a group led by Kia Jorbachian, who I don't know about, to be honest with you. We're just rumored to be interested. So we'll see what happens. Santos is still a members association. Since Brazil's 2021 SAF law, clubs can spin football operations into a company and sell equity. So Santos updated the status in 2022 to allow an SAF path, and that's a known hurdle. A known hurdle is the question of control. So what they've said in previous times is the club need to keep at least 51% of control, which makes a majority takeover quite difficult. But the council is now reviewing the statute. Fucking can't read. I can't speak English anymore. I swear to God. A statute change to proceed with a sale-ready structure. So basically, I think what they're saying is that Chelsea can, or whoever takes over, can actually have control over everything, even if the previous law said that you couldn't. But I mean, this is all quite new, guys. I don't think we're in the latter stage. We're still very much at the beginning of this process. So let's not get too carried away. But if you look at the amount of players that have gone from Brazil to the Premier League, then this is a great buy. And Santos is also a team that, they haven't been doing very well. I mean, if I look at how they're doing in Brazil, the Brazilian league, I can't even spell Brazilian. Jesus Christ. Santos is 16th. Or was that last season? That was last season. Where are they this season? Oh no, still 16th. Yeah, that was 2025. So yeah, that's this season. 16th. That's poor. That is poor. So you're looking at a club that's been run poorly. The footballing side is rubbish. This is an opportunity for BlueCo and Santos Strasbourg. Sorry, were I mean, they weren't struggling that much, but they were just a mid-table team when we took them over, right? That's all they were, and we put them into a position where at least they can have a conversation about being in Europe. So from Santos's perspective, like, I don't know what to expect if a takeover was to ever happen, but you definitely improve on 16th. And I mean, from a points total, Flamengo, we obviously remember Flamengo, they're on 47 points and Santos are on 22. There's a big gap. So if you can close that gap by 10 points, that would put you in the top 7, around the top 6 in Brazil. And I think that's basically what you want. You want a competitive team that can challenge in the league, and then you've got players that can progress and get moved on, whether it's sold to other clubs or, again, develop for Chelsea. Santos are going, no, they already turned down a big bid and Santos said no to big money. Well, I don't understand why they've been looking at potential investments then. I don't understand why that's the case. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. I'll do more research into it and I'll make a detailed video. But as it stands, we obviously don't know everything. Smash that like button as well. Big up to you, Arthur. Thank you very much. Big up to Lumi as well. Good to see you in the building. Listen, people, I'm going to go into more detail about everything later down the line, but this is just a quick update. I actually have to shoot off to work, but hopefully you enjoyed the show. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. I will be uploading very shortly the video talking about all of the incomings that Chelsea have had this season, so go and check that out. Should be out in about 5 minutes. And listen, enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good